Are we ready? So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have just completed our partners breakfast roundtable, and our partners are drawn from across the globe, but of course with a presence in Nairobi. The focus of the discussions have been around the ongoing reforms within the National Police Service, the National Youth Service, and the Kenya Prison Service. We've also had in this roundtable engagement the heads of all these agencies that are involved in the reforms, together with my PS colleague within the ministry, PS Biako, in charge of correctional services, as well as the Solicitor General, Honorable Shadrach Mose. Maybe in a nutshell is that upon assuming office, His Excellency the President did set up the task force on these reforms that was headed by retired Chief Justice Maraga. And the task force completed its assignment and submitted recommendations from that assignment to His Excellency the President last year in November. Subsequently, the President did direct that we needed to move fast to implement those recommendations. In total, there are a total of 598 recommendations. To date, we have begun the implementation of those recommendations, particularly the ones that needed administrative action with no monetary requirement tied to them. But then there are another set of recommendations, so one that requires policy and legislative reforms, which we have also begun the work in terms of drafting the various legislations to address the concerns in the three services. Then there was also the recommendations that required financial input, which again, there have been commitments both by the government and our partners to be able to finance and support. Then the last set of recommendations are just a few group of recommendations that requires further policy guidance and direction. So where there are probably conflict between different agencies that are involved. But that just constitutes 4% out of the nearly 600 recommendations that came out of the task force. So today's gathering was basically to appraise our development partners on a strategic framework that we have worked on over the last couple of months with their input and the input from a number of the agencies involved, as well as the independent institutions within government. And a number of those independent institutions include the Salaries and Remunerations Commission, the Public Service Commission, as well as IPOA and all the other concerned entities. In terms of what has gone into this process is that there are four main aspects of the strategic plan. So there are issues to do with human resource that we need to deal with. There are issues to do with operational readiness and logistical actions that we need to take. Then there are issues around capacity building. And lastly, there are issues around leadership, oversight, and accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana PS.
Yeah.
A question. My name is Getete Njoroge from Citizen TV. There has been a question being considered in the current budget, the one that is being debated, 2024-2025. I don't know if we'll have some of the recommendations being considered in the budget, specifically the welfare of the service members.
Yes, so a number of these reforms are already been taken care of. First, I've mentioned that there are some reforms that only requires administrative action, and the relevant institutions are already dealing with those. So for example, when you look at what administrative reforms are being done in the National Police Service, the IG and the team have already instituted some of those. A number of them could be issues to do with transfers, to do with the issues of working out on the mechanics, on the instruments for human resource. We've had already ongoing conversations with the Salaries and Remuneration, which directly addresses the issues around welfare and career progression. And there are issues around the modernization of the services. So a case in point is that within the National Police Service, there's already within the budget a budget line of about 6.5 billion that has been committed in the current financial year and of course in the next financial year.